Hello, my name is Nika Lucks. I am a photo artist. I'm very happy to be here. This is my first Pachakacha, which is not Pikachu. So I had to learn how to pronounce it. Let's talk about mental health issues in the black community. The two participants in this photo collection, which is called Caution MIA, Mental Illness Awareness, both suffer from some forms of mental illnesses. Mental health issues within the black community is very serious. Growing up, my mama will always tell me, what happened in this house stays in this house. And basically, that is some kind of black family rule where you don't talk about things that's going on. Anything. You don't talk about your problems. You don't talk about it with family. You don't talk about it with friends. And funny thing is, you don't even talk about it among yourselves. We don't talk about it, period. We don't seek help. We don't deal with it. Why? Well, for starters, this is an inherited trait passed down from generation to generation. You don't tell others your business. You don't talk about your problems. And basically, they just automatically disappear. Another thing, black people don't trust doctors. This is historically because we have been tested on and experimented on in the past, and even though it's the past, it's still in the forefronts of our minds. The stigma of having a mental disorder is unacceptable. We are labeled as crazy or different, and to be labeled these things is very difficult to deal with. We really can't admit to ourselves when we have a mental illness, and that's also embarrassing. So we don't seek out help. We don't talk to strangers, therapists, or anybody like that to deal with our problems. We don't get treatment. So this is left untreated, and we suffer greatly. Having a mental health illness is also labeled as white folks' problems. And we don't deal with things like that. To have a white person problem or to be labeled as acting white when you seek help as far as therapy. This is another subject that we don't have time to talk about. So with my photo collection, Caution MIA, I hope to bring awareness to mental health issues within the black community through photography. I want to showcase people that are living and struggling with the shame of mental illnesses. I want to express how important it is for them to seek help and to acknowledge that they do have a problem and that it exists. Many times this unspoken taboo goes untreated and even misdiagnosed because simply black folks don't get depressed. I recently read an article that was very interesting. The name of it was Depression in African Americans, Not Just the Blues. Some of the stigmas and myths around depression are confusing. Most black people don't even know they have a disability or a mental illness because, like I said, they don't get treatment, they don't seek it out, and it's very shameful. Some of the questions that people will ask a black person is, well, why are you depressed? I mean, if your people can survive slavery, then you're strong enough to survive just being sad. Other things is being a black woman and being depressed or sad, as they would say, is labeled as a weakness. And black women cannot stand to be labeled as weak. In the black community, many people misunderstand what mental health conditions are, and they don't even know what it is. So it's something that you can just control, or you can just snap out of it. Or how about you just treat yourself to a movie? Or you just need to pray. Just go to Jesus and pray, and you'll be better. These are some of the things people say for people that having mental illnesses. For caution MIA, I use particular people, these two subjects, that are suffering from different conditions and mental illness. One treatment, well, one person has just depression. I'm sorry, not just depression. One person is depressed, and the other person hears voices. So, two young black people, you think, oh, these people just look regular. You don't know if someone is suffering from a mental illness. I hope this was enlightening and informing. If you know someone that is suffering from a mental illness, I pray that you will help them and help them seek help. Some forms of mental illness can be depression, PTSD, postpartum depression, and so on and so forth. So this affects our community because we all live in this community. And when you see a person with a mental illness, most of the time they're like sitting around talking to themselves or screaming out, and they don't get the treatment. They do something and then they're like put in jail or something like that. They don't get the treatment that they really need. What else? Showcase, blah, blah, blah. Oh, that's the end of it. Thank you.